Hello, everyone, and welcome back to CEVO-TV again. I will be misled. I am with later. I don't know why I said I will be misled. I am misled playing
You're always
misled in a third person. We are going to be covering map number 2, Luminosity Gaming versus eLevate. We're about to go live into the pistol here, and eLevate actually, quite stunning fashion there, took over map number 1, which was Mirage, which, at least in our collective opinion, was heavily Luminosity favored.
Yeah, it's a map that they've shown just constant dominance on, and they're letting the aggression roll already, pushing all the way through Squeaky and clearing out the A bomb site. And Pitch is going to town already, ripping the heads off.
Pitt is able to take down Rush. Storm will go on to the trade down. As Later just said there, they're going to try and work their way into that B bomb site. CT's on a gigantic flank. Look at Lex. Already through. Going to be trying to get his way towards that bomb site as it gets taken. Peter will answer, though, removing XP3. And Lex, if he peeks out here, good positioning. Can he take down Storm? It's just going to be Storm and Professor Chaos left defending against 3 CTs, trying to work their way in. One creeper, one outside B, one is up in heaven at the moment. Professor Chaos, the new guy on the eLevate roster, looking good on map number 1. Can he look good for his team here? Hits the first shot onto Lex. Rush is coming in. There goes Peter. Now it's all up to Nafly. He's got to take down Storm. Can he get the shots off? He will take Storm down. Get in with plenty of time to get the defuse, and Luminosity will pick up that pistol round.
Yeah, very narrowly there, especially as Storm trying to bob and weave there in the site and get away from Naf. Actually just chose incorrect and went completely to the wrong side of that box. Got punished for it. Naf shooting really quickly and luckily had a kit for his team to make that defuse nice and easy. And with that, Luminosity Gaming right back on the right foot here with their first pistol round of the series. They actually lost both pistol rounds in Mirage earlier, so I would say this is so far a market improvement.
Yeah, definitely agreed. One thing that I had coming into my mind for this matchup was how was Professor Chaos going to be able to step in here with the rest of the eLevate crew, and I guess it's been answered so far. He stepped in very effectively. But it's going to be an eco round coming from eLevate. Guns up in the hands of Luminosity. Trades going out. All in favor of Luminosity at the moment as Storm will fall. Lex is still hunting here. He's got XP3 running around the corner from him. And same with Roka. Roka goes down the smoke. Lex has to pull out the knife, runs away, makes the escape into the squeaky room. And XP3 goes out to the hunt. What an unbelievable. That's exactly where you slow it down. Yeah. You throw on the Thug Life music and just put it up on the screen. Run out of ammo, don't go for knife, run into squeaky room, close the door behind me.
And he threw down the Shades emoticon, like the deal with it. The most clear deal with it he could say without having to actually say anything. What a slick move from him, able to not only pick up a bunch of frags, but then get out of trouble when he needed to and hold on to the M4 he had on his back. But because eLevate did get the bomb planted on that first round, they are going to be completely rifled up. And Professor Cash is not ready for Peter to do the same push again. He did it on round 1, and he still got caught out by it. But let's see if they can punish Peter on the way out, and he gets ripped, but not killed.
Yeah, he doesn't go down just yet. He's down to about 8 HP at the moment. And here comes the rotate coming in. That's going to be Pitt, able to take down Rush initially. Still going to be fighting out. Will be Lexo. He's going to be coming from behind. XP3's behind him. Lex and Peter kind of stuck out in the open. Pitt's got to look down. He's got Storm right below him. Now it's all up to Roka. Back at Quad. He gets removed from the round as Anger goes on the rotate up through the highway. And that's going to be Luminosity staying perfect, not allowing eLevate to get around off that early buy.
No, and that is going to force eLevate onto a pretty early eco here on what would be the normal rifle buy. And Luminosity, I'm sure, pretty bummed out about the performance on Mirage, looking to tighten things up. And it seems like they're making the proper adjustments, at least with rifles in their hands. That pistol round got a little out of control, especially considering they had the man advantage. But oh, Peter hitting some nice spam early. But yeah, in these last 2 rounds, keeping 4 and then 5 players alive, respectively. So good work from them, kind of slowing things down and figuring out what wasn't working for them. You know, we're still early in this game, so we don't know what eLevate can break out, but it seems like Luminosity has a great grip on this early on.
Luminosity still trying to hold this B-bomb site, but that's going to be Storm stepping out, pistol in hand. Will remove Anger. Storm's going to try and go for another one on the Pit. Ends up hitting that shot, rifle into his hands. And with 2-on-2 battle, Rush will go on the rotate. Almost gets caught by Lex. He does have the bomb. Lex knows he's there, but he's going to lurk this out. He's going to wait for the secondary CT, which is Storm. Storm's weak on HP, but Lex is backpedaling. Lex will hit the shot, though, no matter what. Now it's all up to Rush. Works his way towards A. Peter will crouch down, get a little crab walk action into the shot. End up getting himself the finalizing frag. That'll be Luminosity holding on to make this 4-0.
Yeah, and actually, I'm sure they cut that round a little closer than they wanted to, getting that work down to only 2 players alive for Luminosity, especially because eLevate was on an eco on that round. But Lex stepping up big time for his team with a 6-1 scoreline early, just trying to pump out that ADR and get it wherever he can. And Peter himself starting things off right with a 4-1 scoreline. Actually, I mean, there's no one on Luminosity Gaming that has been playing poorly or goofing up so far in this game. And Peter full blind, catching a frag on Professor Chaos.
Oh, yeah, good job there by Peter to make that shot happen. So it's going to give another early round advantage here in favor of Luminosity. Of course, we're going to have Roka into the Roka room, though. Round 5. Not out of control yet here. That's going to be 4 in a row for Luminosity. But eLevate will be back onto a bye. They've already lost Professor Chaos, as later said. So now, 4 guns up on eLevate side. Roka, Rush, XP3, Storm, all with AKs at the moment. And Luminosity just trying to hold here at the B bomb site as eLevate still trying to figure out what they want to do.
And Rush catching a frag on Nappa. Good job shoulder peeking, jiggle peeking back and forth, forcing Nap to start to spray early so he could just peek out and get a controlled burst and find the head. Pit now flashing into A main. Gonna spot out XP3 even though he was not blind at all and actually spots the bomb with it.
Oh, Pitt will answer, though, able to get himself one, trying to get a secondary. He got that one. Gets taken down by Rush.
Oh,
as Storm
Peter.
hits a shot. Oh, Peter misses that easy one. Collects it, though, eventually, as Lex inside the A bomb site will take down Storm. And Rush got 2 that round for eLevate. Storm got the other one. And that's going to make it 5-0 in favor of Luminosity. But we're getting into the max loss bonus now for eLevate, so they need to get something going here.
And I was actually going to say they could buy, if they so chose, Professor Chaos, really the only player not with great money, only $50 short of being able to get an AK plus armor, and instead is going to opt for a Tech 9 armor and a bunch of nades. Some nades that I think they're really desperately going to need. They've been losing pretty much every gun battle so far in this game, so they have to use those utility nades to their advantage. And this round, Luminosity Gaming putting no one on mid, allowing eLevate to complete mid control, and instead stacking 3 over towards A. Having Peter watch it all the way from quad box, just fragging so well early on.
What a good push there. Pitt is able to gain some traction on, turns himself back around, takes down Roka. That's a 2K for Pitt. As Peter's getting punished, Professor Chaos gets shut down coming up the top of the highway, so now Storm will be left 1v3. Knows one's in the sight, one should be coming from the truck. He hits the shot,
Whoa, is he blind?
backpedaling and blind. Complete backpedal, just one tapping, hits the shot onto Anger. That was so random, it was unreal. And he was blind nonetheless, but yeah, lucky that happened. Nafly swoops in for the cleanup. That was Pitt getting himself 3. Luminosity will be up 6-0 now.
Really, really slick shot there from Storm, but all things considered, they're still unable to break Luminosity Gaming on Mirage. I would say a huge reason why they were able to win so handily on the Terra side of the map is because they were doing a good job of reading Luminosity Gaming's aggression, which is not really a surprise. Everyone knows Luminosity Gaming is going to be playing aggressively, and they were able to read it and take advantage of it early. But it seems like every time Luminosity Gaming does any sort of push here, they're catching minimum 1 frag. And they're not getting killed as well. They're either getting a frag and falling back or getting 2 and falling back. It seems like they're just getting the better of every early engagement. And we're going to see an eco take onto A. Let's see. They can't even get past Peter's scope.
Oh man, Peter's able to hit 2. Pitt gets 1 before the trade down happens. And they're still trying to get into this bomb site. They want this bomb plant. Storm is going to go for it, possibly. Going to drop the smoke down. Anger will hit the first shot. They don't want Storm to plant. Do they take him down in time? Not able to do it. Oh man, Anger runs out of ammo. Peter has to come from behind. They will get the defuse, but that's going to be 7 rounds in a row for Luminosity. Max loss bonus for eLevate plus a bomb plant there. That's going to help out a ton, but Peter finally getting that op working in his favor real effectively into that round. I mean, he's 10-1 so far in this game, and he's looking good with it.
Yeah, and we saw, to Luminosity's credit, on their own terrorist side of Mirage, they use really every facet of the map to their advantage. And it seems like they're kind of adapting that similar style to their own CT play here and doing a good job of mixing up where players are playing. I mean, before we saw Peter getting picks over at B, and now, you know, he's moving around. We saw him last round on Cat picking up frags. We've seen him play from quad box picking up frags. He's really all over the place. And it seems like all of the Luminosity Gaming players are all over the place. And because of that, eLevate just can't quite nail down where they should be looking next, or where they're going to be engaged from. And even still, a bunch of their players just unable to get it going. Roka, who was a slow starter early in the last game, seems to be a slow starter going into this one. 0-7 off the bat, cannot find himself a frag. And it looks like Rush is going to walk right into the crosshair of Anger. Easy frag for him.
That's going to make it a 5 versus 4 now, as later just talked about, as Rush would go down to Anger. Anger's still going to be playing inside the vents. Looking for anybody a little too aggressive here. Professor Chaos is going to avoid that flashbang quite well. And Anger steps out, sees Roka, hits the shot on Roka, but Storm is right there down low to get the trade out. And Peter is winning the exchanges here against Professor Chaos, at least so far. And XP3 still has the op in his hand, so he's going to rotate over towards that bomb site. Nafly will be in the back of it. Storm is going to peek the smoke. He might get caught. No! Ends up surviving with 28 HP as Nafly is going to be the last one in the site. Peter tries to hit that shot, and there goes Storm. He gets himself 3, and Luminosity is absolutely burning this one down. They have 8 rounds in their favor, 8 rounds in a row, and nothing eLevate is able to throw at Luminosity has gained anything yet.
No, and almost very literally Storm, the only player on that eLevate squad that is doing any amount of fragging or damage. Storm with an 11-8 scoreline. His closest teammates with 3-8. 2-8 on Professor Chaos, and then that goose egg for Roka. Not exactly what they're looking for, and they just can't win these gun battles. That LG has just been doing such a good job of starting. Like they start the engagement. It almost always favors them. They're forcing eLevate into their own game plan or setup, whatever they have ready for them, and eLevate just completely unable to answer. But they're actually gonna be going through vents this round, and they're gonna get potentially caught off guard by Naf here, but no, Rush not falling for that one bit.
So now it's going to be some good openers here. Rush will hit too. They just have to hold on here. CT's way out of position at the moment. One's going to go on that deep flank. That's going to be Lex. You can count on one Luminosity player being on a super deep flank. It's got to be Lex every single time they have to. XP3 catches him. He knows that fact also. And now it's Peter and Pitt. They got an op and a silent M4. Peter and Pitt just kind of hanging out towards CT at the moment, waiting to see if they can find an early round or an early bomb timer frag here. One will go down onto Roka, so that might force Peter back. No, Peter's going to commit fully to the save here. Pitt just wants to drop some guns, and Peter's got to be careful. He's got a flank coming from behind. That's going to be the number 8 man up at the truck. He's going to look for the shot. Does he take down XP3? Yes, he hits the shot on XP3. Gets caught out in the open. He's going to need Pitt to save him, and Pitt will make it happen. They both survive. Pitt is able to get 2 frags. Peter is able to get 1. That's a lot of rebuys here with not very much cash, especially after the fact that you just reset your loss bonus if you're eLevate.
Yeah, and as you said, eLevate resetting their loss bonus. So if they lose this round, they are not going to be in a good way. And Luminosity Gaming somehow even coming out on top when they're losing rounds. eLevate did such a good job of taking control and overrunning Anger and Naf in that B bomb site, and yet I'm coming away thinking Luminosity all got the better of them. And I'm not even sure how that's possible, but either way, that is still the sentiment I have. They have plenty of money to rebuy. They're going to still put the pressure on eLevate, and this is a must-win for eLevate right here if they want to have any future in this game.
I mean, round 10 underway. Pitt's going to peek out. Storm will take him down, and again, this is turning into what we saw last time. Except this time, Peter's hitting op shots like it's going out of style at the moment. And here comes the flank from Lex. He has to hit those shots as Roka and XP3 will get 2 frags in their favor. So Anger and Nafly on the rotate. 2 big fraggers here for Luminosity, looking to get something going. They both really haven't got much going on so far in this half. And they're going to go for the save here, but there's going to be a man coming through Creeper right now. That's Rush. Hits the first shot. Anger will peek out. Rush hits that shot. Now tables have turned completely. eLevate able to pick up some big rounds, and hopefully we don't see the same thing we saw happen to Luminosity last game. They get to 8 rounds, and then they just stalled out in first half.
Yeah, oh, man, that would be really tough if Luminosity Gaming would let this slip. I don't think they will, or at least not necessarily to the same degree as they did last game, but eLevate is definitely punishing Luminosity's lax mid-play. We've seen eLevate spread out across mid a bunch of times. It seems like it's a strategy they've shown is one that they're going to run multiple times in this game. They've split highway, they've split vents to varying degrees of success, but it seems like they are recently finding more of it. And wow, Professor Chaos and Roka picking up a frag and Storm also picking up one, but not quite on who he wanted.
Best teammate this round for Luminosity is Storm, taking down one of his own team members. XP3 hits a nade. Anger hits the 1 dig. Now it's up to Peter by himself at the forklift. Got a pistol in hand, trying to work his way around. Can't pick up Professor Chaos or XP3. That's going to be 3 rounds in a row for eLevate. Luminosity's lead is slipping here, but they're going to be back onto a bye now.
Yeah, and Peter's with a ton of cash on him, over $7,000, going to easily be able to buy up an AWP. He has been a force for Luminosity Gaming, taking so many picks from huge ranges with the AWP and really denying eLevate the ability to get up in his face and use those rifles to pressure him. And finally, Roka joins us on the scoreboard with 2 frags, and Professor Chaos taking Peter down through smoke, taking that AWP right out of the round. But Anger elsewhere, picking up a frag on Rush. So 1-for-1 trade, but I think taking Peter out and trading out Rush, not a horrible trade.
No, not bad at all, dropping that AWP, and he's been so effective with it so far in this half. We actually got a player boosted up in the Shroud spot. There's going to be that number 5 man of Lex just playing that angle. Roka not really looking for it at the moment. Lex is playing this smart, not too aggressive. Roka almost gets caught by big damage there. They're going to try and use this smoke. They're going to try and chase it out a little bit. Roka closes the door, possibly trying to work this towards A at the moment. Still just making noise, and it will be an A strat for sure. Pit is able to take down Roka. Lex is not exposed yet. They don't see him. Now they know he's there. He's able to hit 2 shots. Actually gets 1. Pit will step in and remove Professor Chaos. Now it's all up to XP3 in a tough spot here.
Anger, what are you looking at?
Oh, man. Anger finally catches him. 2K for Pit, 2K for Anger. And that will make it 9-3 in favor of Luminosity, who is resetting things now. But eLevate does have a little bit of a cushion after those 3 rounds in a row.
Yeah, they definitely can buy if they want to. XP3 totally able to drop an AK for a teammate. And I'm going to give Anger the benefit of the doubt there and say that was probably a spectator smoke glitch. No way he didn't just see Anger. Oh, yeah, no, it was... Oh, no, I'm confused. There's no way he didn't see that terrorist that was just hanging out in the middle of nowhere. Had to have been some kind of a smoke issue there in this round. They're actually going to be kind of flipping things a little bit and taking some aggressive mid-control and getting punished for it. 2-for-1 trade in favor of eLevate right off the bat. Nafly, though, invents. Going to get bailed out. He's going to run away. Smart play. I don't think engaging there would have been too fruitful for him.
So into round 13, 1-man advantage, in favor of eLevate at the moment. As we have Pit down and Anger down on the way. Professor Chaos for eLevate will be down. And they're actually going to be cheating one player over towards the A bomb site at the moment, possibly rotating him back. That's going to be Peter towards the B bomb site. That's going to be the smart choice here, as all 4 eLevate members are working towards B. 2 are going to be coming through the vents. 2 are going to be coming through B main. They're going to make their execute attempt now. I believe the call should be coming out from Nafly. He's just got a hold here. Can't make the shot. Rush gets blind, still hits it on his own. And Peter will be the closest one up in heaven. Eats the flashbang, goes for the repeat. XP3 takes him down, and Lex will have to go on to the save. So now that economic situation I was talking about with eLevate getting reset, Luminosity going on to the buyout, spent a ton of money in that round. Lex will save a rifle, and they're not going to have very good cash going into round 14.
Yeah, and I like that eLevate seems to be avoiding the A bomb site a lot recently and really avoiding the early aggression from various combinations of Lex, Pit, and Peter just flying in there and however they choose, just mixing things up each time. It seems like when they're not getting picked right off the bat early in the round to unexpected pushes, they're able to work the round down and eventually come out with round wins. So good on eLevate for battling back and doing that economic damage to Luminosity Gaming. It looks like Lex, the only player who's going to be able to do anything because he was able to hold on to that M4. They might try to buy up some pistols and maybe some nades around it, but they are not dealing with a lot of cash. If they want to end this half strong, they're going to have to mostly save here and look for the 15th round with full guns.
So second to last round of the first half, Luminosity going to be doing this with pistols. They want to come up big on an eco if they're able to. And again, we're going to see Luminosity getting very aggressive here, going towards the squeaky. Roka is ready for it. Flashbang's going to come out. Roka's going to peek. He's got both players completely blind. Lex knows that he's been spotted. He's going to drop that pop flash. Roka will try and sit that one out. Peter will rotate in that direction. Lex is looking for the shot. Can't make it happen. Peter might step through, grab that M4, rotate away, try and recycle it if he can. XP3 goes on the peak with the AK, hits the shot. Now it's up to Pit and Nafly. 2 versus 5 at the moment. They both have upgraded pistols here. Nafly with body armor. Neither of them are moving out of their positions. One in CT spawn, that's Pit. The other one, Nafly, will be at the B bomb site. And they're content with holding on to these upgraded pistols as they're going to go into the last round of the half. Score will be 9-5. eLevate's going to win this one.
Yeah, got to imagine they would. Yeah, no real attempt from them to put it together. Naf, I guess, kind of the more important player to stay alive here as he does have some armor on him. But really, not super imperative that he stays alive unless he really wants to deny eLevate that $300 for, I guess, 100 if Professor Chaos finds him, but that doesn't seem likely. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be hunting kind of in his direction. I think there was a player towards Sunroom, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's Professor Chaos hanging out towards Vent, not actually going to go in that direction, so he will be able to get away with that armor and P250. Either way, it is moving into last round, so they're going to buy up pretty much everything they can get their hands on, and it's really not a lot. It's regular non-head armor, which is fine for the CTs, some rifles, and not a lot of nades to work with. They're going to have to put together some really nice shots here to end this half right, and I would say a 9-6 half for eLevate, all things considered, considering they dropped the first 8 rounds straight, would be pretty successful.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Luminosity, though, would like to make this a 10-5 half in their favor. That would be good for them, especially after what happened on map number 1, a map they should have easily been able to take. And honestly, if I was going to say this was going to be a 1-1, it would be because Luminosity took map 1 and eLevate could take cash. But the roles are kind of reversed here, and eLevate comes on very, very strong at the end of this first half. Again, Professor Chaos will hit an op shot onto Nafly as he drops out of the vents into the checkered room. So it will be a 5 versus 4 advantage for eLevate. Now a 5-on-3 advantage as Rush will catch Anger trying to get aggressive in mid. Bomb has not been spotted yet, and eLevate's just going to sit back and wait for any more pushes they can get.
And it seems like that has been a successful strat for them, and we're not exactly seeing a mirror of last game's first half in the sense of when eLevate started turning it on and when they got their round wins. But really, I would say a hallmark of last game was that they were able to turn it on at the end of the first half and keep it going into the second half. So, man, if I'm Luminosity, I'd be shaking a little bit. But no, these guys are pros. There's no way they feel any sort of lack of confidence in themselves to lock up this game, or they shouldn't, at least. And this round, it looks like they are going to be moving in towards a 2-man stack on the B bomb site.
Oh, man.
Just evaporate.
That's going to be Storm and Professor Chaos. Peter was the only one to get a frag there. And there goes Lex, and that will make it a 9-6 half. So after 8 unanswered rounds in a row from Luminosity, eLevate came back in a big way, wins 3 in a row. Luminosity gets themselves a 9th round and then loses out from there. So eLevate getting rounds in 3-round spurts. But is it going to be enough here? If Luminosity picks up another pistol, they're going to set themselves up decently well. But eLevate coming on very strong at the end of that half, shaking off the rust, it seems like, and putting Luminosity into a little bit of a tough decision here.
Yeah, it seems to be kind of how they operate, is starting slow and then coming on strong towards the end of the first half. And I'm not really sure what that says about Luminosity's gameplay, whether it's that they're a little bit too predictable or too easily adjusted against or what. But kudos to eLevate for working their way out of the hole. And if history is any indication, a quick pistol round here, and they're going to be very much back in this series. Man, this would be a demoralizing 2 maps to lose for Luminosity if they do end up losing their grip on this game. I can't imagine eLevate's going to step up and just slam them just like they did on Mirage in similar fashion. But, I mean, I didn't think they could do it on Mirage either. So I have no idea what to expect. Usually, going into these games, I have some kind of idea on how they're going to shake out. But at this point, this game has veered off in a path that I can't even predict. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. So now we're just waiting for, I believe it was Professor Chaos who disconnected to get back into the server. We can get this live and underway, guys. So what we'll do while we're waiting for him to get in, we're going to go on to a break once Professor Chaos is back in, and we're going live with the start of second half on map number 2. We'll bring it back in game and get this rolling for you guys. So we will be back, hopefully short break, hopefully. All right, everybody, we are back into map number 2, second half, Luminosity Gaming versus eLevate. We're about to get live into this pistol round incoming from both of these teams. Luminosity wants to hold on to their 3-round advantage by grabbing this pistol. eLevate would like to shrink that down to no advantage and take the lead on this map for the first time. But Luminosity still staying in their way. They lost map number 1, which should have been theirs, but eLevate came out in stunning fashion, played very effectively to take Mirage. Now it's all up to Luminosity to try and get this tie.
Yeah, and we can already see stylistic difference in how these two teams are going to be playing it from the CT side. eLevate much more cool, calm, collected, staying back, and have a stack over on the A bomb site, but unfortunately for them, bomb's going to be going B, and who is that Storm rotating away? Going to catch a player coming through Z, or almost should have caught him. I don't know what happened there. And with that, the B bomb site is completely conceded.
Oof. Good shot there by Pit to take down XP3. Now it's going to be up to Professor Chaos and Roka. Pit's going to run right up into the middle of Pit, and that's going to be Professor Chaos who takes that shot down. Now Fly, does he want to go on the flank? Looks like he wants to go for it. He's possibly trying to figure out what he wants to do here. Doesn't really matter, though. It'll be a 3-on-2 two-man retake attempt coming from Roka and Professor Chaos. Now all it's Professor Chaos out into the open at the bomb site. Nafly will take him down. That's going to be Pit picking up 2. Frags will go between Peter, Anger, and Nafly as XP3 and Professor Chaos only eLevate members to get themselves frags, and that'll make it 10-6 in favor of Luminosity.
And that was exactly what Luminosity needed. Now 2 for 4 in pistol rounds in this series, and 2 for 2 on pistol rounds in this game. So good on them for rebounding in really an area that they were lacking in the first game. And I'm sure they would almost attribute their loss, not entirely to, but a huge part of their loss to their inability to win those pistol rounds. They actually did catch an eco on one of them, though, so that was pretty good. But either way, losing those pistol rounds is a huge factor. It was 5 rounds they just gave away to eLevate on that map 1. So you got to imagine to be very comfortable and confident moving into these right here, but hopefully not too confident. eLevate is still a slick team who can potentially eco them, albeit unlikely.
So into 17, all the frags so far have gone in favor of Luminosity Gaming. We got Professor Chaos and Storm left alive now. They're going to be 2 versus 5 at the moment, both towards the B bomb site. Bomb has worked all the way up into A. We're going to have Storm up top towards the heaven. We're actually going to have Professor Chaos working his way outside of B. And Half-Life will spot Storm there. Got to go for a little bit of a gun battle. Lex will be moving in, actually, as we have that number 9 man of Professor Chaos on that deep flank towards A. They just want some exit frags if they can make it happen, and that's exactly what Professor Chaos is going for here. But no one will be exiting in that direction. They're all going to be safe, relatively close to each other, and Luminosity's going to walk out of here more than likely without dropping a single player and getting themselves that 11th round in their favor.
Yeah, Peter about to engage with Storm here, and Auto Director really doesn't want to see that potential engagement, I guess. Just trying to get me away from it. But it looks like, oh yeah, there, Storm is going to peek, and right into 2 Galilas. He's going to get his head ripped off. And actually, oh man, Professor Chaos peeking into Anger as well. Not like they had anything super important to save anyway. But it was really them trying to get the frags, and it was a failure on their part. But that was a hard play to pull off there, especially going 1 at a time like that. It's not even like they peeked as a duo and could try to, I don't know, sneak a frag there. Either way, unable to do it in this round. eLevate going to be P250 across the board, and a bunch of heat grenades they're working with. They're going to dump them all in middle, and they guessed wrong. The Luminosity players are all geared up at B and are walking into a now empty site. Professor Chaos going to be the first responder.
Yeah, those are risks that you have to take as eLevate, though. They wanted to bank on it just in case they were correct. Didn't pay off for them, so now they're going to rotate back towards the B-bomb site. Luminosity is getting some frags. XP3, Professor Chaos out of the way. There is going to be Storm taking down Nafly, so if they can get that rifle, that's going to help out a ton. That is going to be Storm trying to go for it. Roka just crab walks into the vents. Ends up getting a dink onto Pit, takes him down to 7 HP. Peter will take down Rush. Storm works his way up into heaven, gets taken down by Lex. That's a 2K for Lex. Kills between Naf, Pit, and Peter. That will make it 12-6 as eLevate goes on to their first full buy.
Yeah, Luminosity Gaming did a good job of keeping the majority of their players alive for those 2 anti-eco rounds. I'll be curious to see what they choose to do with the Galilas that they have in their hands going against a full set of M4s. Keeping 3 Galilas, actually, that's kind of gutsy. I mean, a rifle is still a rifle, so I trust them to get the job done with Galilas in their hands, but man, I'd want an AK-47.
Right. But we're going to be 5-on-5 still into this round. We got three Galils, excuse me. And look at the smokes. They're going to come out. And is this going to pull a full rotate here? It looks like it's close to a full rotate, not a complete one. Luminosity banking on that, and it works out as Anger will take down Storm. Lex will actually work his way in. Now they're going to seem like they're throwing a double fake
Lex.
here. And this is working well as Lex is hitting a grip of frags for his team. And now he's going to peek out around the corner. Can he take down Rush after Rush takes down Nafly? Yes, he will. So now it's up to Professor Chaos. Can he beat the Galil in the hands of Anger? Not quite able to make that happen. And that is going to make it 13-6 as Luminosity will take down eLevate on their first full buy.
And in the process, they are going to dump 2 of those Galils for stronger rifles. So a round altogether was a really good one for Luminosity. They gained money at the end of that round, despite the fact that they even had players die. And with that, eLevate. Well, I mean, obviously you always gain you know what I mean. They gained, equipment, money on equipment that round, despite losing players. And eLevate going to be on an eco of their own. Really need to start winning. It's going to be hard to win this eco round. I don't think this is going to be the one that's going to pull them back into this game. But next round, for sure, has to be a round win for them if they want any hope of clawing their way back in this. And Anger working around that smoke, hitting an easy spray down on XP30, and then a filthy, filthy shot on Rush. Now going to be looking for more frag opportunities over towards Vent.
He's going to push in that direction. Closest one will be Professor Chaos inside the B bomb site. And all the terrorists are going towards A at the moment. One will be there defending. That's going to be Roka. Getting a little bit of damage off, not a ton. He's still trying to fight, though. Ends up hitting the shot on Anger. Can he make another one? Not able to make that happen as Lex will take him down. Or Lex ends up taking down Storm. And he's able to take down Professor Chaos. Roka did go down inside that A bomb site. I believe that was Pit that caught that frag. But Lex gets 2. Anger gets 2. And that is going to make it 14-6. eLevate going to be on the buyout here to prevent Luminosity from getting the match point.
Yeah, and I noted before that Roka seemed like he was going to be he was a slow starter in this series, but it seems like he hasn't been able to quite start in this game like he was able to on Mirage, kind of playing the Lex role here in this game. And man, it really shows the inability for Roka to step up big for his team and pick up frags, along with Professor Chaos starting to lose his grip and lose his ability to frag. It's showing through. I mean, Rush, XP3, and Storm kind of getting it done, getting some frags in, but man, Roka's really the one. He's too good of a player to not frag.
Ooh, Storm completely blind, had a good chance to try and take down Anger. Ends up making it happen anyways, but Pit is able to hit both shots in the sight. Luminosity looking poised at 3-on-3 now to get this match point. Nade will come in, not going to gain any traction off that. Actually hits Pit for 1 damage, so it wasn't horrible. But it could have been banked in a little bit better, but it was smoke, so he had no idea where that planter was. And now we're going to have eLevate trying to work this 3-man retake attempt. 2 are going to be coming in through the creeper. We're going to have Rush trying to work his way out. Pit is going to be looking down low. Here sees the first one, able to take down the first one and the secondary one. Trying to find Rush, and Nafly will get it. Actually, Nafly got Roka and Rush. I thought those both went to Pit there, but no. That's match point now for Luminosity Gaming. The score will be 15-6, and from here on out, eLevate has to win every single round. And they're going to be buyouts.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like they are really going to be able to do it, especially with how Luminosity has been able to bounce back from that Mirage loss that they just sustained. And I was talking about how eLevate has some members that are not quite fragging up to their potential, but Pit is never not fragging. He's constantly picking up huge numbers, constantly top fragging for his team. It is so clear how really just head and shoulders he is above a lot of other riflers in the NA scene. And it's pretty apparent that he is a transplant. But eLevate now with a man advantage going into this retake.
Ooh, Peter's going to try and work this pistol frag. But Moss comes out in the hands of Professor Chaos, playing the peekaboo game. Pit, you got to turn to your side. He's able to turn and make the shot happen. So now it's all up to Storm. Hits the initial one, and Peter will close the game down. That's a 16-6 victory for Luminosity on map number 2. That's going to tie the series up 1-1, so nobody gets the outright win, nobody gets the loss, but they both walk away with a point in their column. And I have to be honest with you here, that was the score I expected for map number 1, and the score that actually happened on map number 1 I expected for map number 2. I expected to be a lot closer on 2, and number 1 to be a runaway from Luminosity, but they weren't quite ready or whatever the issue was on map 1. eLevate took that home, and Luminosity battled back a little bit, but map number 2, actually eLevate's pick was all Luminosity.
Yeah, definitely a bit of role reversal there, and I'm curious now to take a look at the stats if I can get Counter-Strike out of my face. Let's refresh, get the most up-to-date stats here. I'm really curious about Roko's performance, and hey, it's actually not that bad considering he played pretty poorly, although it is, I guess my stats are a few rounds behind, but either way, even his inability to frag was kind of alleviated by his ability to do some damage, just unable to lock up frags, especially when his teammates needed it. But Storm, still a huge player for his team, or actually, excuse me, rather bouncing back. Actually, I confused him and Rush earlier on. Storm not playing particularly hot in the first game, where they did come away and then stepped up big. It seemed like he was, I mean, score-wise, he was absolutely the frag monster that eLevate needed, and the rest of his teammates just couldn't back it up. His closest teammate had 13 frags, only 72 ADR. It's a 30-80 damage per round difference fall off on the team. And then under that, there's another 20 for the rest of the players. Seems like Rush, Professor Chaos, and Roka just couldn't quite get a grip on this game that they needed to. But all things considered, I would consider a push to success here. I thought, honestly, especially with Mirage as map 1, I thought this could have gone a lot worse for eLevate. And I think they impressed with a really, really strong Mirage showing.
Yeah, definitely. Looked really, really good on that Mirage, as you just talked about there. What I mean, just the map that I thought they were going to do really good on, they just couldn't put the pieces together on, and it looked like finally we actually had Peter going off really good. I mean, Pit was just kind of good throughout the entire thing like he normally is, but really that op from Peter actually hitting some really good shots there helped out a ton for Luminosity.
Yeah, and I guess that is just North American Counter-Strike in a nutshell, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That feels exactly like it, and it seems like the only consistency in those two games was Pitt, the non-North American, top fragging for his team on map 1, and I guess kind of top fragging for his team in map 2. He's right up there in the mix, along with Lex and Peter, who stepped up big time after really putting up a stinker on map 1, both of them.
Yeah, but remember, guys, that's not going to do it for us tonight. We actually have a secondary match coming up, or a secondary best of 2 anyways. And that is going to be your Counter Logic Gaming versus Tempo Storm matchup, which is going to be coming up next. Well, not next. We're probably about 25 minutes to 30 minutes out from that being ready to roll with picks and bans. But we're actually going to go into a break here, guys. Once those guys are ready with picks and bans, we'll bring it in. We'll cover those, and we'll get ourselves into that server and get that secondary best of 2 underway. So don't go anywhere. CLG versus Tempo Storm will be coming up in about 30 minutes.